This is the time of the year where people are getting ready for the new calendar year in 2025 and setting their New Year's resolutions. Often that surrounds fitness and health and getting yourself in check in those early months, but the problem is, often those early months are where those goals begin and end. So, how do you set these New Year's resolutions for your health and your fitness and keep them in 2025? Here with more advice on that is Laurel Rivera, personal trainer with EM2M Fitness, right here in our community. Laurel, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you, and happy holidays.
Yes, to you as well. And as we think about the holidays, we think about the new year and all these goals that people set. And it often surrounds, the common ones are surrounding health and fitness and getting that all in check. So where's a good place for people to start as they're setting those goals to set them up for success in 2025?
Well, I personally recommend that they start very small, something very realistic. Look at their daily or their weekly schedule. Maybe this is something that they do a check-in once a week, but the key is to start small and build as the year progresses or the month of January progresses. And you progress in being consistent. Focus on the consistency. That's another big thing that I try to encourage my clients. Make sure you focus on being consistent and realistic. You put a goal out there that's too large or just something that just seems overwhelming, it's going to take you longer, and you may longer to reach that goal, or you may just even fail because it's just too overwhelming to even think about how you're going to approach the goal.
So the first step is to get that consistency down, set those small goals, and then move forward. But then we look at people that maybe do that year in and year out, and somehow by the time Valentine's Day comes around or the end of February comes around, that short month, these kind of go to the wayside. They move back to those old habits. So how do you get over that hump as well, Laurel?
So once a week on my social media platform, I typically say on Wednesday, that's our check-in day. Now, I always tell people not only check in on one other person, but check in on yourself. Be realistic with yourself. Where are you mental? Where's your mental and where's your physical? So if you're someone that starts a new goal or is thinking about starting a new fitness and let's say meal plan, I don't like using the term diet, but you just want to be cleaner as far as your fitness and your eating habits, start small. One goal a week. Perhaps your first goal is, I'm just going to meal prep. So then you figure out what day of the week can you realistically meal prep. For me, it's Sundays. And then I actually do a small meal prep on Wednesday so that I break my week up so that I can actually obtain my goal and I don't get bored with the food. The key is have somebody that helps you stay accountable. Not necessarily a trainer, but a friend or family member that really wants to help you, is really your go-to person, so to speak. Tell them, hey, I have this goal and I just need somebody to check in with me or help me check in with myself to make sure I'm doing the things that I'm supposed to do. And if you're someone that just really, really struggles and doesn't have that person, get a trainer for a short term. If you're thinking about the cost, get a trainer or in a group where you can train with a group of like-minded people and it doesn't feel overwhelming. And even if it's for a short term, it can help you get going on your goal or help you jump back into your goal that you might have, fell on or didn't succeed with.
Laurel Rivera is a certified personal trainer, life coach, and fitness coach class instructor as well from EM2M Fitness in Keego Harbor, and is joining us on the Splash Live as we talk about New Year's resolutions, especially those that surround your health and your fitness. You can get more advice and learn more about Laurel and her team at EM2M Fitness.com. And Laurel, you mentioned that the group aspect of this, getting together with other people that maybe have like-minded goals or are just interesting people that you can meet in the community. It's a great way to do that through fitness, and we know that you have experience witnessing that firsthand through Keego Harbor Parks and Rec in the spring and the summers with those group fitness classes that you run at Rose Sorter Park. So how does that group aspect play into A, getting people motivated to come out and actually do this, but B, keep coming out and keep interested in this despite all the struggle that often comes along with starting out on a fitness plan?
Well, what I've done recently, I just expanded the EM2M Fitness location. We just expanded to a bigger space. And so what I've done is I just incorporated classes on Saturday and Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. It's a very small minimal fee. And my goal is to keep the classes small, 10 or 12 people, so we can actually build a community. And what I found through the Rex and Park, those were like-minded people. I tell a friend, you tell a friend. And that became something a little bit bigger. We still, even at the Parks and Recs, had about, 6 to 9, maybe 10 people, but everyone kept in touch. Some people encourage each other to keep on going through the fall. But the key point is you have that small community. People look at classes as something large, they're not going to know anyone. But actually, what typically happens is you find out the person next to you in class is struggling just like you, whether that's with their fitness goal or just in life with kids, family members, etc. And you find that you'll have, if someone else is there, they're there for the same purpose or a similar purpose, and you can meet some new friends and encourage each other. And with social media, you can keep in touch with that way. So you don't necessarily have to call them every day, so to speak, but you could just say, hey, are you going to class this Saturday or Sunday? I'd like to be there if you're going there. I think we got something in common or we have the same goals. But just finding that community, or even, like I said, a small group, just so you can feel like you belong to something. People typically want to belong to something, or if they belong to something, whether it's a group or even just a couple of individuals, it helps them bridge that gap and staying focused on whatever the goal might be.
And Laurel, we know life happens, things get in the way of your goals along the way. There are setbacks, there are roadblocks, and everything in between. So for some people, it's the if their goals fall off. For others, it's when these goals fall off. How do you get back on it and get re-motivated? It's different at the end of the year and going into the next year, where everyone's kind of feeling that rejuvenation. But when it happens in March or it happens in July, how do you bounce back then?
You have to tell yourself, you have to remember your why. And we all have to at some point be our own mentor. So at some point, and I just had a conversation with someone recently, you actually have to just be honest with yourself. If you keep putting on the same clothes, we're just talking fitness right now, and you really don't like the way that you feel in those clothes or the way that you look, that's your sign. That's your sign to just say, you know what? Tomorrow I'm going to start. The goal is going to be 15 minutes on the treadmill or elliptical or a 15-minute walk. Just remember to start small and don't beat yourself up, because oftentimes most people will beat themselves up. You just get back on. I tell everyone, especially during the holidays, it's really tough. Don't worry about the fail of today. Worry about the success of tomorrow. So if you ate bad today, tomorrow morning you wake up, it's a brand new day. That means a fresh opportunity, whether it's a week, month, year. It's a fresh opportunity. If you fall off the wagon, dust yourself off, get back on, but make sure you keep the goals small, realistic, so you're not overwhelming yourself. That is the key. Just get back up and try again. We taught our kids that, so we have to be our own mentor as well.
More information on EM2MFitness.com. Laurel Rivera with us from EM2M Fitness as we approach the end of 2024, the beginning of 2025, and how to keep those goals and set the right ones so that you have success with your resolutions in the 2025 calendar year. Laurel, before we let you go, any last advice on anything that we haven't spoken on just yet that may be helpful in this way for people across Greater West Bloomfield?
Yes, remember your why. With anything you do, remember your why. It's you versus you. There's not a competition. You are who you are. Your fitness goal, whatever that might be, or any New Year's resolution, is for you. When we take care of ourselves and fill our own cup up, then we can fill other cups up. It's important to fill your cup up. Fitness, eating clean, being well, self-care, that's all incorporated. And the goal is to be whole. So whatever you choose to do, just make sure it's something that makes you feel happy and bring you peace. And that's even with fitness.
And that's ultimately what those resolutions are all about, improving your quality of life and improving your happiness as you move in to a new era and turn the page on one year and into the next. Laurel, thank you so much for your advice today.
Thank you for having me.